we have what few characters still remain, having had a terrible revelation. After the murder of Joffrey by Miles, who was assisted by some strange figure who we still don't know like who is behind this. Um, which I literally, as I'm saying this, I just realized something I have to change about the game, and I will talk about it when I get there. But I'm going to make a note of it right now so I don't forget. Sorry. Um, Great. Note done. Um, so after Joffrey's murder and Makara revealed herself to the town, we finally convinced after we caught Miles, Makara murdered Miles because she's angry for her husband getting murdered. And we convinced the town to come together for a big town meeting and finally convinced Lord Xerxes and Lady Nyren to let us talk to Olive. We also learned that Olive is not Lord Xerxes' child, which he seems to have known. But that was sort of brought up as an argument between Nyren and Xerxes. So a lot of unpacked drama there. Olive revealed that not everyone in the town is real, and defamed a lot of people as being fake once we finally convinced Olive to trust us enough to talk to us. On that list was Captain Grunt, the person Olive killed, the Priestess, the person Miles killed, Rogo, Miles, and Callum, 3 of the 4 people we rescued from the outside world, 2 of which were now dead. Rogo, who tried to leave the city screaming, and he exploded and died into golden light, and Miles, who was murdered and exploded into golden light. Cal stayed in the city. And I say stayed in the city because after it was agreed that everything is fake, and it was pointed out, my favorite twist in the entire game, that the guards don't have faces and they don't speak, and they're as weird and creepy in the background as they always have been. The town agreed it was time to leave and find out the truth about what happened to them when they came into Merryroot City. So, staying in the town are Makara and Calatam. Cal, because he knows what will happen if he leaves, in that he will explode into golden light, based on what would happen to Rogo. Makara, because she likes peace and quiet and doesn't really have much to live for outside. Which means, out on the tower, we have Penny, Olive, Nyren and Xerxes, David, Edgar, Annabelle, and who am I forgetting? Mr. Foxy's, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Welcome. I'm forgetting a character. And I don't. Oh, and Zyla. Even though Zyla was in prison for murder earlier, it's been decided because she did a murder against someone who wasn't real. And also because they're going to need all the help they can get, that she should come with them when they leave Merryroot. So, those are the 8, and they have left. But, not only did you get out to find a weird, sort of stone room with, stars and a moon painted on the ceiling, and, a crystal ball in the middle, and, a sealed door, but also, we found Joffrey, who, just dropped the iconic line, as you call him out as being Joffrey, he says, yeah, I know who I am. Who the fuck are all of you? And so that's, what's happening. We're all caught up. Did I miss anything important, gang? Because I'm about ready to dive in. Mr. Foxy's, by the way, if I know you, welcome. If I don't know you, please let me know what brought you here. And I'm so sorry you just missed the full recap. This might get a little confusing, but I am going to dive in. Gang, we're doing this. This is Act 5, Part 1. I say Part 1 because I cannot imagine I'm going to get through all of Act 5 tonight. It is a behemoth. Let's do it. Act 5, Necessity Makes Adventurers of Us All. I actually want to take a moment to quickly go back over the act titles now that we know the order of the game. So Act 1 is A Festival to Remember, which takes place at the festival, which is fine, kind of generic. Act 2 is Pulling the Strings, which is iconic because it's both trying to figure out who's behind this, but also mind controls involved in murder. Act 3 is Who Guards the Guards, because Grunt gets killed, of course. Act 4 is Knife and Death, because Eliezer is the instrumental weapon in that murder. And Act 5 is Necessity Makes Adventurers of Us All, which is what it is. Edgar. Joffrey, how is this possible? I don't even know what this is, but you all look hella confused, so I'm going to go out on a limb and say you're not working for Venexius. Nyren. Venexius? Yeah, Anyone seen the guy around? Tall, dark, and spooky, black robes, red eyes. Real class act. Can't miss him. Annabelle. Joffrey, you were dead. Joffrey stares. Yeah, no shit. Quick thing. For whenever I write 3 exclamation points in, I'm just going to say shock, because otherwise I'm going to be explaining 3 exclamation points too much. So in this case, Bell, shock. Joffrey. I knew I was coming to the most dangerous place in the world, so I threw down a copy of myself before I took the dive. Hid it right here in the tower, so if Phyrexius killed me, I can get back up and keep swinging. But the dude's nowhere to be found. Xerxes. Tower? Olive. So that's what this is. We were in a trap. Ooh, love me some traps. But before we go any further, I am gonna have to know who I'm talking to. What are you doing gawking around like a bunch of losers? Penny. Joffrey, it's me. It's Penny. You really don't remember us? Penny? Penelope Knifewood? Yes, it's me. Letter for you. He holds up a letter he has in his hand. Huh? I was creeping around the tower looking for my boy V-Neck, and I found a sealed letter addressed to you, I guess. It didn't look like his stereotypically shitty villain handwriting, so I figured it was something he stole and or a magical trap. But if you're Penelope, then it's all yours. Acquired clue, letter to Penelope Knifewit. Why would there be... None of this makes any sense. Who is Phyrexius? Where are we? Okay, yeah, you all seem pretty messed up, and I'll answer all your needy little questions, get you to safety, blah blah, hero stuff. But first, I got a question for all of you, since you seem to know me and my rep. You probably know who I roll with, which leads me to one very important question. And we see him suddenly get scary intense, like fire in his eyes. Where is Makara? Penny goes, Makara? Of course. David goes, she's still in the city. Joffrey, city? Bullshit, what city? Olive, that one. For the first time, we get a good look at the crystal ball behind us, and we see inside the crystal ball a tiny monster tree petrified inside of it. Penny, wait. That's what Merryroot City was. A magical prison in a crystal ball. I knew everything was weird in there. Hang on. Let me get this straight. There's a crystal ball that has been trapping you guys for however long, and you just now managed to escape. Nyren. I suppose, yes, that does appear to be the situation. And Makara is still in there. Edgar. When you died, she wanted to stay. She didn't know you would come back, or if she did, she didn't say anything. All right then. Time to go bust her out. Joffrey, wait. Once you go in, don't care. You made it out. I'll make it out. Xerxes. No, you were in there with us. You couldn't get out either. You died before we all escaped. Sounds like I should be more careful next time. Move! Penny, it's not about being careful. It's... Something happens to you in there. We didn't even know this place existed. We didn't... Hey, everyone! Get the fuck out of my way! My wife is inside that shitty globe, and I'm going to get her. If we're stuck in there, we'll be stuck in there together. That's all there is. So move it! Second, quick word change. Edgar. Joffrey. If you knew what we know. Yeah, well, you don't seem to know a whole hell of a lot, if I'm being real. Now scoot! We can't let you do this, Joffrey. We both have information that the other... Wait, I'm sorry. Did you just say, let me? Eyes burning. As if you could stop me? Clearly someone hasn't heard about the title I earned myself in my early years. Penny. Wait. Huge flash of magic. Everybody goes flying. Penny hits the wall, slides down. Hey, Penny was it? Call me Joff again and I'll turn you to ash. Yeah, haven't heard that one before. Joffrey out! We see Joffrey touch the crystal ball, and in a flash of light, he vanishes. Edgar. Well, that went well. Damn it. How do we get him back out again? Penny, I think before we do, we need to figure out exactly what happened to us in there. Belle. Yeah. Hey, what about the letter? It's as good a place as any to start. Letter ripping sounds, and we see Penny reading the letter to Penelope Knifewit. Dear Penelope Knifewit, if you are reading this, the plan worked. The messenger arrived, and you managed to lead the others out of the prison that was Merryroot City. I wish I could say that this was the end of it, but if you've explored enough to find this, I imagine the front door is still sealed. In my research, I've learned that the sealed door is part of a barrier that surrounds this tower, and that will remain until a certain condition is met. That condition is the death of Venexius, the powerful force of darkness that put you in Merryroot City in the first place. Excuse me. That means, if you are reading this, Venexius is alive and very probably among you. You have come too far to give up now. Find Venexius, kill him, and make your exit into a world that is not ravaged by darkness. A world that has not been overrun by harbingers. A world that is waiting for the triumphant return of its greatest heroes. Together, you can do this. Signed, Penelope Knifewit. What? Xereth asks. Edgar, you wrote this to yourself? Nyren, it makes sense. Or, as much as anything else does. David, yeah. If Penny was out here before, for a year, she probably figured some stuff out. I kind of wish she told herself more, though. Why wouldn't you have just said everything you'd learned? I don't know. Zyla, maybe it has something to do with that messenger the letter mentioned? Oh, yeah. What messenger? We didn't get a message. Zyla, that isn't exactly true. If you think about it, we rather did. The message may not have come written, but it was quite clear over time. Leave Merryroot City. The priestess, the captain of the guard, Joffrey, all people who could best keep the city safe. If they all died, what other message were we supposed to receive? Then, am I responsible for this? Edgar, let's not jump to conclusions. First, if Merryroot was a prison, then us escaping it is a good thing, no matter how it happened. Second, there's too much we don't know. If you figured this out once, surely we can all figure it out together. Bell, yeah, we should spread out and search the place. Nyren, absolutely not. Penny, really, Nyren? Nyren, search, yes. Spread out, not a chance. If that letter is to be believed, there's a force of darkness within our ranks. I will not give that force of darkness a chance to take advantage of us by separating from the group. David, ooh, that's a good point. Penny, yeah, except if Venexius is with us now, that means somehow they got into Merryroot City, which I knew in the past. And if he went in, then there's every chance the same thing happened to him that happened to all of us. Xereth, you're saying that Venexius may not even know they're Venexius. Olive, wouldn't Joffrey have recognized him? He seems to know Venexius pretty well. Zyla, magical disguises are quite common. If he donned one before entering the city, he may not even know he's wearing it. Bell, then how do we... Penny, you're right. We search. We figure out what's going on. We start getting answers to all of these questions. By the end of it, I'm sure we'll be able to find out which of us is Venexius and see for ourselves what the real outside world is like. Everybody stay close. Let's go solve a mystery. Investigations start. All right. So you get some free reign to walk around, but I'm just going to introduce things as they come up. There's not really much like, ooh, this, then this. It's very much like you have to check out everything before moving to the next floor and what all. So I'm just going to go ahead and read things off as they happen. Yes, he may well be among them, Red, or they. It's unclear if the he. All right. So let's carry on. I'm glad you guys are enjoying. Yeah, this is not going to be as much of like a, ooh, stop and theorize. I mean, by all means, theorize all you want, but it's not going to be as much of like a, I wonder what's happening next. There's a lot of new information to be gained, so it's going to be a lot of me reading, but feel free to give comments. Your comments give me sustenance. It's the air I breathe. Okay. Yes, unfortunately, I did not put Venexius in this list. I didn't think to do that. I realized as soon as I read it, I'm like, I should have put Venexius in the character list. But, okay. All right. I can see the theory cooking in you, Red, just based on what you're throwing out there. So immediately you get dialogue with Eli, who hasn't talked this whole time. Eli, yes, there is very much that tension in the air. Eli, what do you make of all this? It is a rather sizable amount of information to process. But you didn't know any of this either? Goodness, no! Had I known, I would have divulged the truth to you many years ago. So whatever magic influenced us when we went to Merryroot, it worked on you too. It does appear that way, my lady. All right. Well, let's get to it. All right. Just looking at the sealed door. This must be the sealed door my letter was talking about. Pulling and pushing sounds. Nothing. Which means Venexius is still alive. Acquired clue. I still don't know if I'm going to keep these clues or not, but I'm going to keep them for now. Because this is not really like a murder mystery kind of a thing, a combined clue moment, I don't think. But maybe I'm wrong. Past Josh might know better than I do. Acquired clue, darkness within. Close enough on the spelling. And that is a good question, which I will not be answering, of course. I forgot that you didn't know this twist, which is really exciting to me because it is a huge one. I can hardly believe that. Oh, sorry. Looking at Merryroot City, I can hardly believe that this is where we've been living for so many years. Xyla, some longer than others, love. The only person there before me was the priestess, so who we now know is all part of the trap. When was that? 25 years ago, when the Harbingers came. Penny, I wonder if the Harbingers are even real. Ah, good. I'm so glad you don't know. Yes. Okay. And that's all there is on the first floor to examine. So going to the second. Oh, actually, I might add something for the stars on the ceiling. 1 second. Just commenting that the night sky is technically there and it's potentially moving. Okay. Up on the second floor, we see a vastly different sort of area. It's a very impeccable, kind of neatly organized room. There's a giant, very obviously evil dark magic book on an arcane desk. There's a case with some scarce magical ingredients that look mostly empty. And there's a shelf full of tiny wooden soldiers. And finally, in the middle of the room, there is a totem pole with a sort of friendly-looking, smiling mask atop it. Edgar. Whoa. This place is, Xyla, a little tinier than I expected. Really? That's what you notice? Well, just because you keep your magic stuff lying all over the place doesn't mean everyone else does. You should have seen your store when I was done with it. What did you do to my store? Xeris, does it matter? It's not like we're going back to the magical prison city. I suppose not. Olive, what is all this stuff? Only one way to find out. Looking at the arcane work desk, I'm so glad that my main players are forgetting. I don't know if Hillary knows this either, but I'm so glad that this is something that is vastly an unknown because this is a big one. I mean, obviously it's the big one. Who's behind it is the big one. Looking at the arcane work desk, gods. And I thought Joffrey's spellbook looked complicated. Can anyone read this? Edgar. With some time, maybe. It's definitely advanced. It's probably worth looking into, but let's finish exploring the place first. Sure thing, sweetheart. Yes! My 3 main players don't know the final twist. I'm so happy. Okay, I love that. That just brightened my day. Okay, looking at the arcane implements. I'm not going to do any of the repeat looks unless there's anything interesting with that. Arcane implements, Xyla. Ooh, now this is more like it. Nyren. Xyla, we are not here to resupply your stock of potion ingredients. Well, it's not like anyone else is going to use them, are they? Though on second glance, it looks like the most useful things were used long ago. Guess this Venexius was an avid alchemist too. Or I guess is an avid alchemist too. Xeris. So you're saying this evil force can use dark magic and make potions? If only we knew someone like that. Xyla. A little early in the day for accusations, isn't it, Lord Xeris? Where are you the lord of now, anyway? Penny. Okay. Xeris, I was right. There's no need to be throwing blame around. Xeris. Yet. Acquired clue. Used alchemy supplies. If you look at the shelf of wooden soldiers, everyone, look. We get a close-up of the toy soldiers and we see they look exactly like guards, down to the faces. The same colors, the same tabards, the same faceless appearance. They're just clearly made out of wood. Wow, David says. No way. Olive. Oh, so now you can see how weird it is, huh? Penny. This is what they've always looked like, just full-sized. And that really wasn't weird to you? Nyren. No, but it certainly is now. Edgar. Merryroot seems to have done a number on us. Acquired clue, toy soldiers. And when you look at the totem pole, what is this thing? Edgar, I have no idea, but something about it seems familiar. No, that would have been an interesting call, but no, Eli is real. Sorry, you just made me wonder if maybe I should have made him not real, but no, I want Eli to be real. I like Eli too much. This something about this seems familiar, Penny. You felt that too, huh? Olive. Well, I don't think so. I've never seen anything like this. It looks creepy. The totem pole speaks. I have a name, you know. Ah, it talked! Hello? Salutations! Welcome to the Arcane Workshop. Xeris. Arcane Workshop? Yes, sir. This is where the Master comes to twist the arcane forces that course through the planet into powerful magical spells. The Master? You mean Venexius? No, I don't know nothing about all that, but if Venexius is what you call the Master, then sure. Zyla, so you're some kind of creature he created? I'm nothing of the sort. I ain't rightfully got any sort of lifeblood. I'm just a series of programmed responses to thousands of everyday interactions, including but not limited to greetings, explanations, and intricately detailed reports on every spell ever cast in my presence. Edgar, back up. That last one seems important. Well, that is my primary function. I'm a state-of-the-art surveyor of finite incantational errors, but you can call me Sophie for short. So it's surveyor of finite incantational errors, Sophie. Edgar. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Sophie. Not for me, it ain't. I don't know such things as pleasure nor pain. Just magic and its meaning. Zyla. So, you know what kind of spells the Master has been casting? Sure do, and I keep a detailed log of all of them. Including, say, Merryroot City? Merryroot City, the Master's pride and joy. Real work of genius, that one. Managed by yours truly. Olive. You manage the city? That's what I said, ain't it? Though admittedly, ain't been too much to manage recently. I only send a scrying sensor over for a 3-day evaluation once a year to make sure everything's still in tip-top shape. Otherwise, the thing runs itself. Of course, it does fall to me to make adjustments and alterations whenever somebody steps on through, like that fella Joffrey did not minutes ago. Penny. Adjustments? You mean like what happens to our memories? Well, looky, we got a smart cookie. That's right, darling. It's my job to make sure the story that's dropped into your memory stays straight and narrow with everybody else's. I guess you could say I'm something of a writer, but really, the magic works itself. Nyrin. So, you're the reason you forgot what's really happening. Whoa there, partner. I'm detecting some notes of anger that ain't gonna do you any good at all. I ain't the judge of the jury, just the executioner, as it were. You wouldn't get mad at the man told to swing his axe your way, would you? No, you'd get mad at the person doing the telling. Nyrin. I feel perfectly within my rights to be angry at both. But you can tell us now. You can tell us what the world is like. Afraid not. I'm as in the dark as you are. You see any legs on this little body to carry me out any doors? Ugh, some help you are. I'm rather a great help, if I'm to believe the conditions of my existence. Penny. About that. You said you kept a log of all spells cast near you. That's right. Anything cast on the bottom 2 floors of the tower, I catch on to right quick. The Master keeps everything about that private. Anything above. The Master keeps everything above that private. Everyone's got their boundaries, ain't that right? David. Tell us. Give us the log. Sophie. Well, sure. From most recent to last, here's what we got. First, a shockwave spell, first floor. Caster, Joffrey the Unstoppable. No errors to report. Next, a messenger spell nested inside a simulacra spell. Simulacra spell, second floor. Caster, Penelope Knifewit. Penny. Huh? Sophie. No errors to report. Penny, explain yourself. I don't... Next, a missionary spell, second floor. Caster, Penelope Knifewit. Errors, initial intention clouded by trans-dimensional pathways. Wait, stop. No. Keep going, Sophie. Next, a messenger spell, second floor. Errors, message captured and erased by trans-dimensional pathways. We just see Penny horrified. I didn't say Caster Penelope Knifewit. I should also say Caster Penelope Knifewit. There we go. Finally, a flame whip spell. First floor. Caster Annabelle Livingston. Bell. What? Sophie. Errors. Spell interrupted by compromised concentration. All prior spell logs archived and secured by the master and may not be accessed without the proper permissions. Zyla. Oh, Penny, love, it sounds like you have some explaining to do, and my lovely assistant as well. Xeris. What is the meaning of this, Penny? I don't know. How could I? My memories are gone, just like yours. Olive. Are they? Or are you the evil wizard and you're lying to us? I'm not. I'm not. I can't be, right? Nyren, for the brilliant deductive work you've been doing, that hardly seems a sound enough reason. Edgar. No. Penny's right. David. Shock. Edgar. Think about it. Penny came out here for a year, then came back to us. The logs of what the Master cast were erased prior to that. Doesn't it make more sense that she came here, discovered what we're discovering now, and used magic to try to fix things? Xeris. ... Bell. ... Nyren. Yes, you're right. I'm sorry, Penelope. I'm rather on edge. We all are. Bell. What about me? I didn't... Penny. You must have been out here with me. But that means... Hey, it doesn't mean anything. You could have been a prisoner or a traveler who got stuck here or any other number of things. Xeris. It does beg the question of exactly what happened, though. If she had already been in here and she's not Venexia's, why would she come to Merryroot City right after you left it? Penny. Add it to the list of unknowns. Let's keep exploring. We can crack the case open once we've searched the place. Zyla. Sophie, before we go, do you have any other useful information for us? Not unless y'all go casting any spells on the first 2 floors. Thank you, love. You've been a great help. Acquired clue Sophie, acquired clue unknown spells, acquired clue Annabelle's presence. All right. I'm going to take a quick pause there, a quick little break. Sophie, the unofficial final character of the game. Not even really the final character. You get what I mean. Sophie is technically... well, Sophie did not actually even know the Master as Venexius. Like, they asked if it was Venexius, and like, I don't know. But I can put that in there. She will have an I don't know answer, but I mean, it is worth a who is the Master question. And then that way they can like kind of confirm that. I don't hate that idea. All right, let's keep going. Got a lot to get through tonight. Going up to the 3rd floor, we have a sitting area with 2 lounge chairs around a cozy fireplace. There's a magical circle above the fire that smoke flows through and vanishes. There's also some bookshelves full of books and a glowing magical portal on the wall, as well as stairs up to the 4th floor. Xeris. I suppose we rarely question where the forces of evil live. David. Yeah, I always thought they slept in wet dungeons on cold stone floors. Zyla. No sense in mastering powerful dark magic if you can't enjoy yourself while you do. That is the kind of the main thing. Yes, that's kind of the reason I didn't really include it, because she does refer to the Master. Sorry, cracked my back. But yes, that is kind of the thought of if Penny were, unless it were like a disguise thing. There's ways you can get around that, but it's not a huge thing I consider to be something to address too frequently. Anyway, looking at the sitting area, I wouldn't have minded a place like this in the tavern. Edgar. Well, when we get out of here, maybe we can bring the chairs with us. That'd be a story, huh? Sitting chairs from a real evil wizard's lair. Ha! Zyla. The fire's more interesting to me. Do you think Joffrey went through the trouble of lighting it while he was here? Nyren. His double would have been here for several hours. It is possible. I bet it's magical. Can't be extinguished, that sort of thing. Like the symbol above it, sucking up the smoke. Penny. One way to find out. Belle, would you do the honors? Sure. Splash of water, steam. Yep. Nothing. Olive. Thank the gods we know the fire doesn't go out. Acquired clue, eternal flame. Looking at the bookshelves. Ooh, books. My favorite. Olive. Me too. Zyla. Oh, are you an avid reader as well? I want to be, but I really couldn't. Nyren. We only had a few books in Merryroot City. Xeris. I did try writing some once. Olive. They weren't good. Now, Olive, if we don't have anything nice to say, then say it directly to you. Sure, that's how the saying goes. Penny. Do you think any of these books could be helpful to us? We hear rustling of pages. We see a book open in Edgar's hands. Guys, I love getting to know Olive because you can't for the whole game. But I love that now that Olive is out, you get to know them as a character rather than just being the creepy kid. They actually do have a personality that was hiding under fear and anger. Um, Looks like a lot of strange arcane theory. Xyla. Likely advanced dark magic. It would have to be for Phyrexius to have this reputation. I wonder if there's a way to decipher any of it. Maybe we can undo the city and get the others out. Edgar. It's a nice thought. We look deeper into the collection later. Can I come when you do? Nyren? You certainly can. Olive. Yay! Acquired clue, Dark Arcanum. And if you look at the magic portal, what is that? Looks like a simple portal lock. The color suggests short range, which means it's likely to lead to another room in the tower. David. Is it safe? Want me to find out? Xyla goes through the portal. Comes back. It's safe. What was over there? Xyla. Oh, you'll want to see this for yourselves. And when you zoom into the portal, you get a magic sound, and we see a large empty, not empty room, but a kind of large square brick room, filled with huge stacks of gold, mountains of gold, hooks, display cases. It's clearly a treasury, but most of the hooks and display cases are empty or vacant. Penny, shock. Olive, shock. David, no way. Xeris, gods, what a hoard. This must be enough to buy a whole city. Edgar, and it's so neat, like everything in this tower. Penny, maybe Phyrexius got bored easily. Edgar, must have. Looking at the display hooks, looks like there's a lot missing. Nyren, Penelope, didn't you bring some gifts back with you when you first came from the outside world? Oh yeah, they would have had to come from somewhere, I guess. Xeris, so let's see. You gave me this quiver. We had noticed it seemed to match my bow. It was probably just your quiver then. Look, it would have fit on the wall over there. Why would I have kept my bow but left the quiver? Not sure. Nyren, you gave me that gaudy glowing sword which I left in Merryroot City. Really? We were on bad terms at the end of it all. I didn't think it would be important. Those two hooks would mount it there. Xyla, you gave me the mushrooms. Chances are they were in that case we passed on the second floor. Olive, you got me the journal. I did a lot of drawing in it. Penny, I don't see why a blank journal would be kept in a treasure trove. It was probably on the bookshelf. Edgar, mine were some vegetable seeds. I planted them, but they didn't start growing before we had to leave. Xeris, maybe we'll find a garden somewhere. David, what is it, David? I can't find it. I thought I had it on me. Nyren, your gift? What was it? Penny, the holy symbol for one of the old gods. David, oh no! I was sleeping with it under my pillow for good luck. I completely forgot to grab it when we left. What about Olive? Other than Olive being a delight. Also, hello, Ash. Thanks for the hydrate. I'll do it again because I'm actually thirsty. I completely forgot to grab it when we left. Penny, it's okay, David. David, what will I put under my pillow now? Penny, maybe Phyrexius is keeping another one somewhere. Meanwhile, it had a chain, right? David, yeah. Penny, that is probably just hanging on that nail. Annabelle, what about you? Belle, you gave me the magic wand, but I don't see a spot for it. Nyren, perhaps it was your wand and you simply left it here. Maybe. Let's see. I gave Rogo a teddy bear. Edgar, maybe Phyrexius needed something to cuddle at night. And Grunt got the helmet. Xeris, the same helmet that didn't vanish when he did? That's the one. Nyren, what about Joffrey? Penny, gold? Lots of it. Xeris, that tracks. Nyren, what? Actually, I don't like that tracks for Xeris. That's a very Penny thing to say. I'm going to highlight that and change the wording on that later. Nyren, what doesn't make sense to me is why you would bring all this with you. You surely weren't planning to remain in the city. Why bring us gifts? Penny, maybe it was to entice you to come to the outside world by showing you how much good stuff was there? Edgar, or maybe you were trying to show us what was out here in the tower and hoped this would jog our memory, but Sophie had other plans. Exactly. This is all a lot to take in. No kidding. Acquired clue, gifts from the vault. If you look at the goal, hang on a second. I want to try something. Crash! Clatter, 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 clatter. The pile of gold, one pile of gold gets knocked down, and it takes the shape of the arcane symbol from Joffrey's store on the ground. Penny. Knew it. Bell. What does it say? It says thief. Acquired clue, stolen gold. That was one of the unanswered clues from Joffrey's murder as to why the gold in his urn, when tipped over, spelled thief on the ground. Now we get an answer to that question. There's a lot of loose ends that get tied in this act. Okay. Fourth floor, going upstairs even further. We see a beautiful bedroom. There are two bead curtains, one of which has light pouring out, one has steam pouring out. There's a wardrobe, a shelf with a bunch of crystal balls, and a luxurious king-size bed. Xeris. Well, this seems to be the top floor. It's one of those bead curtains leads to a stairway. Bell. Or portal. Edgar. 4 stories. Just like Merryroot. David. That could be a coincidence. Penny. Nothing ever seems to be a coincidence these days. Let's take a look around. Luxurious bed. Gods, even in our manor, we didn't have a bed like that. What does one person need with a bed that size? Zyla. That's assuming a lot, don't you think? You think there was more than one person here? Maybe, but I meant that you're assuming that Venexius is a person. But Joffrey said, tall, dark, and spooky, I recall. Black robes, red eyes. Does any of that specifically say person to you? I suppose not. Looking at the wardrobe, we get a close-up of it. Let's see what we're working with here. Edgar throws the doors open. We see some simple black and gray robes. They do match the robes Penny wears sometimes. Thank you for the lurk, Lauren. Xeris. Wow, some real variety in the Forces of Darkness fashion world. Olive. Didn't Joffrey say tall? These robes don't look that big. Penny. That's a good point. Actually, Edgar, these look closer to your size. They do, but you're taller than me. Didn't you have one of these robes when you came home? I've seen you wearing it some nights. It seemed to fit well. Belle. Wait, let me try something. Door closes. Olive, can you open the wardrobe? Sure. Olive opens it, and inside we see tiny child-sized robes. Whoa! Thought so. Magic wardrobe. The robes are sized to whoever opens the door. So the wardrobe magically changes the size of the robes, doesn't bother giving them even a pop of color? Seems like a waste of perfectly good magic to me. That's Edgar. And when you go through the steamy bead curtain, we see a bathhouse. Big old, like, hot tub style bath. Very Japanese inspired in style. There's towels. It's in a little magic circle on the floor, like one that sucks up the smoke. Edgar. This Venexius fellow sure did live luxuriously. David. What's all this? Xeris. A bath, likely kept hot by magical means. I call first bath! I've been locked in my room all week. I feel gross. Myron. Once we finish exploring the tower, you can have a bath, dear. Penny. What about the arcane marking on the ground? It looks like the one over there. It's probably a magical toilet. Edgar. I guess you don't need a chamber pot when you can obliterate waste matter with dark magic. Zyla. You know, I'm actually starting to respect this horrific force of darkness. A good question. Interesting question. I suppose we'll see. Acquired clue, magical bathhouse, and then you can look in the bead curtain with the light filtering through where you see a beautiful garden. There's an artificially simulated light sort of glows over it, rows of stuff, kind of like there appear to be some greens growing up from a square patch of soil, some farming tools. Penny. Well, this explains where I got the seeds, Edgar. Myron. These are all still growing. Does that mean they're magically enchanted as well? Penny. Maybe. But remember, I was here no more than... What? Oh yeah, remember, I was here no more than 2 weeks ago. If I was living here for a year, maybe I was growing my own food and this was left over. Zyla. I'm more taken by the ball of light, to be quite honest. What about it? Light is a simple spell. Light, yes, but light alone doesn't make plants grow. Sunlight does. Replicating sunlight in a spell is much more difficult. Edgar, haven't you stroked Venexius' ego enough for one day, Zyla? You remember he's likely one of us, right? Zyla, well, may as well give credit where it's due before we have to kill him to escape the tower. Right. Acquired clue, artificial sunlight. And finally, we can look at the crystal balls. We get a close-up of these crystal balls. We see 3 of them. One of them has a huge spike of stone with little holes carved into it. One seems to be a little stone golem that has collapsed. And one looks like a miniature thriving city with a lighthouse in the middle. David. No way. Edgar. What have we here? Penny. These are the same size bubbles as Merryroot down on the first floor. You don't think... Zyla. Venexius is working on more prisons. Nyron. Working on? How can we be sure they aren't finished? Penny. We can't, right? That's right, love. There's no way to identify magic without touching the source. I don't know about all of you, but I'm not willing to take that chance. Xeris. Better safe than sorry. Olive. But what if there are people in them? That's a good point. We'll have to see if we can find a way to check. And I want to do that. Note for myself. And then once everything has been explored, we finally get... Well, that seems like everything. Edgar. All right. Then we should split up. Xeris. And why is that, precisely? Edgar. We've got a lot of ground to cover. It's not like Venexius is going to try anything with all of us in this close proximity. We don't have far to go. As long as nobody goes off completely on their own, we should be fine. Unless you'd all like to stare over Belle and my shoulder as we decipher that book. Zyla. He's right. How about we say 3 people minimum to a room? Olive. Can I get an exception to take a bath? Penny. I think that's fair. Olive is really the only one of us that can't be Venexius. Nyron. And what about sleep? Unless we all solve this issue in the next few hours, we'll be needing rest. It's not like we got a full night yesterday. Penny. Right. I forgot that about an hour ago, Makara woke me up by breaking my wall down. David. I don't really feel safe sleeping with a dark wizard somewhere here. Is there somewhere we can go that we can all sleep together and maybe, like, take watches or something? How about the treasure room? Nyron. Why? There's a perfectly good bed up here. There's no reason that at least some of us shouldn't be comfortable. Belle. The portal of that room makes a loud noise when someone walks through it. That way we'd know if anyone was up to something. Xeris. As much as I don't want to sleep on a cold stone floor, that's not a bad idea. I like it. Maybe actually stop a murder from happening tonight. Penny. All right, it's settled. When everyone's done with whatever investigating you want to do, meet in the treasure room. We'll all take turns on watch, squeeze in a few hours of sleep, and get back to figuring out this mystery out in the morning, or whatever qualifies as morning around here. Edgar. I'll be on the 2nd floor if anyone needs me. Me too. Zyla. May as well go along. I'm curious about the dark magic. Olive. I'll be in the bathhouse, but nobody come in. Nyron. I'll stand guard to make sure nobody does, dear. Xeris. Likewise, we need 3 people anyway, right? David. I'll stay with Penny, wherever she wants to go. Penny. Unless Eliezer counts as a 3rd, I think that's all we've got. Is that okay with everyone? Nyron. If there were anyone I'd trust with free reign of the place, it would be you. Xeris. I've got no complaints. Edgar. You know I trust you. Penny. All right. Let's do it. Let's get to it. And then we get our intermission. This is not a traditional act, as I'm sure you've picked up. You can walk around, you can examine things again, and you can talk to people, which is kind of the big thing. I'm going to skip over little things that are just like repeats, but I am going to do any... Well, there's a lot of dialogue here with David, because David's following you around, to make up for everything. It says anything. Okay. If you look at the sealed door again, dude, a magical word, right? It would be great. What I want to know is, who could have sealed the door with magic so powerful that even Venexius couldn't break through? David. I don't know. I've never been good with that kind of thing. I just sort of pray and my magic works. When we look at Merryroot City, Penny. Merryroot City. Thinking about it now, I guess it does all seem a little far-fetched. It really does. Once we get this whole Venexia situation sorted, we'll have to find a way to get Joffrey and Makara out of there too. What about Caliban? I I don't think he can leave. Um, if we look at the nothing important here, except for so when we go to the second floor, we can now talk to Edgar, talk to Belle, and talk to Sophie and Zyla. So why not? We're gonna go through all of that. Here we go. Hey Edgar, am I interrupting? Oh, you're all right. This is dense. I could use a break, honestly. I'm happy to provide. Learn anything useful yet? This magic is bad. I mean, not all of it. There do seem to be spells in here that are just complicated. But a lot of it is really shady stuff. Ripping out souls, rewriting memories, killing off entire bloodlines, that kind of thing. Sounds brutal. Yeah. I don't know what we're gonna get. I don't know that we're gonna get many clues from this, but we'll keep trying. You sound pretty disheartened. Is something wrong? No, no. Well, yes, of course. But I'm in no worse a situation than anyone else. Hey, you're allowed to feel shitty about this. It's just... Look, I know there was no avoiding this, and the work you did to get us here was incredible. I can't imagine the burden you had to carry, and the adversity you faced, but... I find a part of me wishing I was still in Merryroot City. Really? Why not? I had my tavern, I had friends, lovers, security. It was nice, until the murders started. But you can't live like that. You can't live a lie forever. I feel like if you hadn't left, that's exactly what would have happened. Do you blame me for being here, then? Nah. Yes. But at the end of the day, I suppose it's better to know. I understand. But hey, let's get to the real outside world before we make the final call, yeah? Deal. Alright. Oh god, I love this so much. I'm far enough removed from this act that I've forgotten what dialogue I wrote, so I'm actually like getting emotional reading some of this. Let's keep going. Let's talk to Annabelle. Hey Annabelle, how's the work going? Fine. Okay. Have you found anything useful? No. What's with the cold shoulder? Did I do something wrong? No, it's not you, it's... Can I talk to you for a second? Sure. David, hang out with Edgar for a minute? Okay. What's wrong? What if I'm Venexius? Whoa, hey, there's no reason to think... Yes, there is. Look at this place. It's pristine. Everything is exactly where I'd put it if I were living here. I hardly think... And the magic wand? I know it's dark magic. My memories of school could just be fake. I'm reading this book and it's all familiar, like I've seen it before. And I was already here when you got here. It all adds up. It's me. And I just don't know why I would... Why... Hey, Annabelle, listen to me. We don't know that you're Venexius. When I found you in our fake memory, you were crucified. Does that sound like a dark wizard or his prisoner? I guess, but nothing. I'm not going to let you jump to conclusions now when the stakes have never been higher. And even if you are, we'll find another way. I'm not going to kill a friend. Promise. Promise. Thanks, Penny. I should get back to it. And that's their dialogue. God, I I forgot about so much of this. I'm very excited reading it, which is a good sign, I think. Hey, Zyla, what are you up to? Mostly killing time, love. I skimmed through the book, but Edgar and Belle are better with arcane theory than I am. I find that hard to believe. I'm so glad you like them, Red. Why? I'm a witch. Most of my expertise comes from alchemical compounds. Though, there is one regard I feel my talents may shine. What's that? Hang on. The modification of physical appearance. Before Merryroot, I used to make potions to alter customers' looks all the time. It was my most sold potion, as it were. Primarily, it was just for little things, but it could completely overhaul someone's appearance in a pinch. How will making something like that help? Oh no, not making. Detecting. If someone here really is Venexius in disguise, whether they know it or not, then we may have a shortcut to finding out who it is. Oh, wow, yeah, that would be good. I thought so as well. Once Edgar and Belle have finished up, I'll see if the book has any means of helping me to do that. And that's the dialogue with Zyla. Not nearly as emotional. It's Zyla. I don't know what you were expecting. Let's talk with Sophie. Hey guys, I hope you're ready for some. This act is the most Zero Escape series I get because of weird magical explanations to things. Okay, talking to Sophie. David goes, "Something wrong, Penny?" It's just what Sophie said about those spells I cast. I'm sure they were harmless, right? Maybe, but what were they? I don't know. I don't even remember what they were. Hmm. Hey, Sophie. Well, howdy there, darling. How can this contraption of limitless arcane potential be of assistance to your insignificant mortal form today? Can you run that list by me again of spells cast here, but flip the order. Start at the earliest and work your way forward. Darn tootin'. Ignoring the archive stuff I ain't allowed to speak of course. From farthest to most recent, here's what we got. First, a Flame Whip spell. First floor, caster, Annabelle Livingston. Everts, spell interrupted by compromised concentration. Next, a messenger spell, second floor. Caster, Penelope Knifewit. Errors. Message captured and erased by transdimensional pathways. Next, a missionary spell, second floor. Caster, Penelope Knifewit. Errors. Initial intention clouded by transdimensional pathways. Next, a messenger spell nested inside a simulacra spell. Second floor, caster, Penelope Knifewit. No errors to report. Next, that's enough. Thank you, Sophie. No trouble at all, darling. Anything else I can do for you today? Can you tell me what those last three spells do? I'm afraid explaining the purpose of spelling it within my instructions. I just document the nasty stuff that goes wrong and the nice stuff that goes right. I see. Edgar, did you catch all that? Vaguely. I'm neck deep in something called the Carvorian Theorem, and it's making my brain spin. Messenger, Missionary, and Simulacra. If you can find those spells in the book and figure out what they do, it might answer a lot of questions for us. I'll see what I can do. And that is the Sophie conversation. There's a cute little line of dialogue if you try to talk to Sophie again, though. Thank you for the hydrate. If you try to talk to Sophie again, you get... I'm really glad you are all enjoying this. Ash, thank you so much. I don't think Sophie's going to do us much more good unless more spells are cast in the area. David goes, do you want me to cast some spells? No, that's all right, David. And that's it. Just a cute little back and forth. And when we go to the sitting area, let's see. Oh, going up to the sitting area automatically triggers the David dialogue, which I'll do now. Hey, Penny, is it okay if we look through some of those books? Yeah, sure thing. We see an image of David and Penny in lounge chairs flipping through books. It looks like some of these books are written in our language, but some of them we see David kind of staring blankly. What's wrong? Huh? Oh, nothing. Look at this. We see a close-up of a book, and there's very clear ink marks and dog-earing on certain pages. We see a circled phrase, an arrow, some question marks. Someone's been writing in the books? I guess. Seems kind of rude to mark up a nice book like this. I doubt Venexia is particular about being polite. I don't know. The tower is pretty neat. True. Actually, this handwriting, it's hard to tell, but it sort of looks like mine. Oh, maybe these are notes from when you were here doing magic? That makes sense. Maybe we can use these to figure out more of the spells. Cool! Acquired a clue, Penny's notes. Okay. That's all there is to explore here unless you go and try to end the day, but you need to... you actually... Do you not need to do everything? Hang on. I think you at least need to talk to everyone before ending the day, but I might be wrong about that. You may be able to skip the... Technically, I mean, Sophie is very important. You can't end without talking to Sophie. Oh, no, it does say, okay, once everyone has been talked to at least once. Gotcha. But I do need dialogue for elsewhere in there. Okay. Sorry, guys. Thank you. Looking at the crystal balls on the fourth floor, we can't risk touching those. On the off chance they're active, it's probably fine, but better safe than sorry, I guess. Looking at the wardrobe, I have no need for another set of boring black robes. Do you think I could pull them off? I don't think they suit your disposition, David. Looking at the luxurious bed. It does seem like an awful shame that nobody gets to sleep on that tonight. Yeah, I guess it can't be avoided, though. And dialogue with Nyrin and Xeris. Hey, Xeris, Nyrin. How's guard duty? Oh, you know, same as ever. We'd be delighted to help with the investigation, but Olive's safety has to come first. You understand, of course. Yeah, no, of course. Hey, can I ask you something? Nyrin. When you have to request permission to ask a question, it makes me think the answer is going to be no. It's about earlier. When you two were, the fight you had. Ah, no. Nyrin, not... They're right inside, not here. Penny, I don't know when we'll get a better time. Nyrin, is it really important for you to know the intimate details of our personal lives? Probably not, but maybe. Everything seems important. Also, it's hard to focus when I've got that question looming in the back of my mind. Xeris, let's step into the garden, Penny. David, would you mind keeping watch with Lady Nyrin? No, of course not. We fade out and we go into the garden with the gang. When I say the gang, I mean Penny and Xeris. Look, I know this is personal. I don't want to pry. It's fine. It just isn't something Nyrin and I typically discuss publicly. When she came right out with it, I was as shocked as you were. Not because I didn't know, but because we had agreed it would be simplest to keep it to ourselves. I had no idea it was eating at her like that. She was scared, Xeris. She would have screamed about anything in that moment. No, she wouldn't have. Nyrin is calculated. If she brought it up, it had already been on her mind. So, how do you know? About 1,000 different ways. The first is that Nyrin and I don't have an intimate relationship. Huh? We've slept together once, I think. He felt obligated. Sort of a the world is ending, so we should repopulate idea. Neither of us enjoyed it, and that was years before Olive was born. I always just assumed. Tight spaces, living together. No. Nyrin isn't my type. Even at the supposed end of the world? Harsh. Call it what you want. I know what I like. And what's that? Men? Oh, got it. We were honestly considering living separately when we found out Nyrin was pregnant. We decided better for them to have two parental figures, and we were already living together. Things just sort of started to make sense after that. Our relationship felt like it had a point, and still does, to be fair. I do love Lady Nyrin, simply not in the way that people expect me to. That makes sense. Thank you for sharing. It really isn't that serious. Especially now, it hardly seems as impactful as it used to. Does Olive know? I think so. We've never said it outright, but they're sharp. Always have been. I'd be surprised if they hadn't picked up on it. Alright then. Obvious question. Figure it out. Huh? Joffrey didn't arrive until after Olive was born, and David's hardly the type. I'm sure you can put the pieces together, detective. Got it. So, it doesn't bother you at all? Or him? If you want to know how he feels about it, ask him yourself. But for me, no. What I said is true. I'm not blood related to Olive, but they are my child, and I'm their father. That's enough. We fade back to the other room. How was your dramatic, sentimental conversation? Sentimental and dramatic. Did you and David get into any trouble? No, David spent the whole time craning his ears to try and eavesdrop on you. He thinks he's rather coy, but we all know better. David, you sweet summer child, I'll tell you when you're older. Okay, I'm sorry. It's all right, David. I know you're just curious. Bead curtain sound, Olive emerges, wet hair, happy as a clam. That was so nice. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself, Olive. Now, if it's quite all right, I could use a bath of my own. By all means. I suppose I'm not going anywhere, Xeris says. Bead curtain sound, and when the lights are up, we have free reign again, but we can now talk to Olive, and we can talk to Xeris. Oh, no, we can't talk to Xeris again. Never mind. We just gotta Xeris pour his heart out. That's all for now. Olive. Hey, Olive. How was the bath? Great, but I'm ready to help now. Did you find any cool magic stuff that needs looking at? A bit, yeah. It's been a long day, though, so I feel like some of it's going to have to wait till tomorrow. How will we ever be able to tell what time it is? It's not like we can see the sun from in here. I'd imagine when we're all rested, we'll know. Yeah, no, it's the turn Olive gets of just not being a creepy child and just being neglected. The, I'm gonna keep reading. I'm gonna keep reading. I'm gonna get too excited about this. Come to think of it, how do you think our weird magical prison got sunlight? It must have been fake magical sunlight, right? Like in the garden? That's a good question. Maybe we'll find out soon. Remember, it's probably still only 2 or 3 in the morning right now. Oh, yeah. We'll check in a few hours. I can't wait to see how it works. Olive, can I ask you something? Sure. Are you okay? Are you kidding? I'm great. Look at this place. It looks weird and magical, and all of you can see that. I know, but the last couple years, your whole life, really, must have been so difficult. It would be okay if you were angry about it. Of course I'm angry, but not at you guys. Really? No need to sound surprised. Like, yeah, it was sucky. It felt really, really bad to be told I was imagining things all the time and not being able to hang out much or talk to people much because mom didn't want me lying to people. And it was really hard. And I guess I was pretty mad at you when you came back because, like, I thought for sure you'd be able to tell everyone the truth. There is no weird outside world. It's just like, I didn't know what it was, but I knew it wasn't that. And then you said what everybody else did. And I thought maybe they were right. Maybe I was just crazy. We see Penny just looking really sad. Olive, I was so mad. I was mad and scared and sad and just everything. Every bad emotion. I tried to sneak out a few times a long time ago, but I always got too scared to go on my own. So when Zyla said that she was trying to figure out what was happening, I knew I could finally do it. I could go with everyone. I just had to help her. And I was right, and now we're here. And you're not mad anymore? Nope. Especially now that we know what happened, sorta. It's not your fault we were brainwashed by an evil wizard monster. Why would I be mad at you when I can be mad at him? But everyone treated you so harshly. Even me. I talked down to you. I thought you were just a silly kid. Yeah, but you don't anymore. Now everybody believes me. What good is being mad at someone for something they're not going to do again? You know, Olive, I do believe you may be wise beyond your years. Yeah, duh. Get with the program, Penny. Will do. Can I go look at magic stuff now? You sure can. And from here on out, so whenever you look at the map, you can see where people are. Olive, whenever you move floors, Olive jumps to a random floor that you're not on. So you can never catch them for the rest of the night. Okay. Olive handles their trauma like a champion. Um, all right, and then when you finally talk to everyone and we go to the exit, we get an end the day kind of a thing. And Penny says, looks like everything's finally winding down. I'm really sleepy. Nyron, I'm sorry that you'll have to sleep on the floor tonight, dear. It's okay. I understand. Zyla, we seem to be missing a few members of our little outfit. Is someone working overtime? Portal sound effects. Xeris comes in. Excuse me, everyone. If you would kindly stand clear of the portal. Why? What's going on? You'll see. Just a few more steps back should do nicely. Perfect. Portal sounds. What on earth is he up to? Portal sounds again. Boing. David, shock. Edgar, also out of breath, appearing next to Xeris. Ta-da! We see the mattress for the bed appear in the center of the vault. Massive springy mattress. Olive. The bed! Edgar. Hardly made sense to let a perfectly good mattress go to waste for a silly little thing like caution. Xeris. Quite right. And it wouldn't do to have my little Olive sleep on the ground now, would it? Olive. Whee! Jumping sounds. Nyron. All right, calm down. We're not ready for bed just yet. We're not? No. We should discuss our findings. Zyla. Tonight? That hardly seems productive. What with the rampant sleep deprivation. By the way, I put this bit in here just so I could see a cute image of everyone lying on the bed, and there's nothing anyone can do to stop me. Anyway, moving on. Penny. No, Nyron is right. We don't know if we're actually safe here. If Phynexius is really one of us, and there's any chance we can find out now, I just don't want to risk anything happening while we're asleep. Belle. I mean, we'll be taking watch, but yeah. All right, let's do it. Nyron. First and foremost, please tell me we've found some more evidence of why Penelope was the last person before Joffrey to be casting spells. Xeris. And some fairly serious sounding ones at that. Edgar. Annabelle and I looked into it. We can't be sure of the purpose, but we did find out what each of the spells Penny had allegedly cast was meant to do. Belle, you know the dense arcane stuff better than I do. Would you do the honors? Right. So, the first spell was a messenger spell. It's pretty simple. Delivers a message to a person or a group of people, but what makes it complicated is that the message has to figure out how it will best arrive. If we were outside, it probably would have been a pigeon or something. But that brings us to the transdimensional stuff. Edgar, transdimensional travel isn't actually as extreme as it sounds. It means any transportation is done between portals or gateways. We all went through the process when we stepped into the vault just now. Belle. And when we came out of Merryroot. Nyron. I see. So why did Penny need to send a message through dimensions exactly? Clue presentation! Surprise! We are unraveling a mystery right now. There's 3 options. There's friend in the vault, spell failed, or message to Merryroot. I'm going to skip over the obviously incorrect options and go with message to Merryroot. It was for all of you. Think about it. I get out to the tower, I figure out that you're trapped in there, and I want to help you get out. I find a spell called Messenger. Of course I'd try to send it through. Nyron. It also explains why it failed. What did that Sophie thing say? Belle. Message captured and erased in transdimensional pathways. Right. So it didn't work. Xeris. What was the next spell? Edgar. A missionary spell. A spell that you give a more complicated task you don't know how to achieve directly, and it makes an attempt to complete that task. All of this is technically dark magic. Well, not strictly speaking evil. Dark magic is capable of intricate combinations of intentions and directions. So, what was the spell's mission? Penny. It's simple, isn't it? Clue presentation. Kill the Nexius, evacuate Merryroot, or free Annabelle. I will leave this one to you guys, because I feel like the questions are actually getting a little more interesting as we start to solve this. If anyone would like to take a guess at which one that is. Kill the Nexius, evacuate Merryroot, or free Annabelle as the 3 possible things that the missionary spell could have been trying to achieve. I'm going to give it like 10 more seconds, and I'm just going to dive anyway. Okay, yep, thank you, Red. Player number 1 over here. That is correct. I would have been focused entirely on getting you all out of Merryroot. After I checked Sophie and saw the message didn't reach you, I'd have started looking for another way. A spell that does complicated tasks seems like exactly what I would need. That's what we thought as well, though this last spell is a bit vexing. Well, it was 2 spells, one nested in another, which I don't quite understand. There's no reference to nesting spells in the spell book, so however Penny figured that out, we don't know. Not Zyla. Nesting. It sounds like putting one spell inside another. Penny. Like Terminus magic? How do you of all people know about Terminus magic? Joffrey explained it after you got arrested. It's one spell that is cast when another one ends. That's right. I would think that's what Sophie means by a nested spell. That doesn't make sense for the spells chosen, though. The spell itself, a simulacra spell, it's just meant to imitate life. It creates a magical servant to the specifications of the caster. It looked like the spell had some pretty uncomfortable implications. You can basically make a slave and build them however you want. You want someone young and beautiful? Done. Quiet and efficient? Simple. You can design your simulacra to be whatever you want it to be. But why make a simulacra with a message that's only sent when it dies? Olive. Yeah, and who was the simulacra? It could have been any of the fake people, right? There was more than one. No, it couldn't have been any of them. It can only have been the one that was still alive at the end. Wait, that's it. We never received the message. What? What message? The one I left for us in the letter. We flash back to the letter. If you are reading this, the plan worked. The messenger arrived, and you have managed to lead the others out of the prison that was Merryroot City. Edgar. Of course. But it didn't work. We found another way out. Penny. Which means those spells weren't just spells. They were people. Or we viewed them like people because it's what Sophie made us believe to keep the story straight. That's why Olive saw them as fake. No way. So the spells you cast. Clue presentation. Choose the clues in the proper order. I'm gonna throw this out there for those who've been playing from the beginning. If anyone wants to take an honest guess. 1 second. if anyone would like to, in order, name the spells Penny cast, this is a. If not, I'll give you guys the answer because if you guess wrong, you get a. If you guess the wrong order, that's right, but I don't think that was that order. Who did I meet first? And what was each of their purposes? And if you guess specific wrong ones, there's specific dialogue for it. But I figure I'll give you the shot to put that in order. Remember, it is a messenger with the message erased. It is a missionary with the task of evacuating the city, and it is a message nested inside a simulacra, which I know is a lot of magical mumbo jumbo we just learned tonight, but I'm curious to see if it is solvable. If you guys can toss that away. If you guess wrong, you get who did I meet first and what was each of their purposes. So you can also try to have the spells together. If not, I'm happy to just guess, just kind of put it out there. Because again, you can just guess and check and get to the end. There's no like fail consequence in this where you like mess up enough time that it shoots back to the beginning. This is not actually a reveal. This is just a picking the right thing until you get it right. Also, Red, feel free to bail. I'm happy to just keep reading. I know you were sort of the singular voice of guessing right now. Unless anyone else wants to step in. Whew, I'm getting sleepy. I don't think there's too much more of this part of the act. Ooh. Don't mind me. I'm just gonna take a little nap. Oh, wait. Yeah. Well, Ash, it's gonna be tougher for you because you weren't here for the other streams. I'm just gonna press forward. I don't want to keep this waiting forever. Unless Red, I know there's lag and stuff, so Red, you're probably figuring it out. But if you have figured it out, let me know, even if it's after the fact that you send this. But I'm just gonna keep going for now. Okay, great. So the order is Rogo, Miles, and Cal. Rogo, Miles, and Kaladin. That's why I found the survivors. First, a messenger spell. We flash back to Rogo running towards Merryroot City. When I found Rogo, he was screaming about having to get out. I didn't understand it at the time, but that must have been all that was left of the message. And when he arrived in Merryroot, the message was captured and erased. But the messenger spell itself still went in. We were left with nothing but a man who knew he had to tell everyone something. So he told everyone everything as loudly as he could in hopes that one time it would be his message. Xeris, I can't believe that actually makes sense. So Miles was... Flashback to Miles in prison. The missionary spell. Tasked with getting everyone to leave the city by any means necessary. Look at her targets. The priestess first. She thought the sanctuary fading would get us to leave. It didn't. Then she aided in Grunt's death. Our captain of the guard. Someone else who was keeping us safe. And finally, Joffrey. The only one who couldn't leave because of the curse. With him dead, we could go without leaving anyone behind. Belle. Miles didn't come to town for a long time after Rogo. That makes sense with how complicated the missionary spell is to get cast. Olive. So Cal was the Simula thing? Why? Because I finally found a way to sneak a message inside the city. We flash back to Sophie. Next, a messenger spell, nested inside a simulacra spell. Second floor. Caster, Penelope Knifewit. No errors to report. The big reveal of all of this is I live for the second playthrough of this game. I really do. Because it's so much like, oh, you motherfucker, in there, which I'm very pleased with myself with. It's Sophie's job to make sure that everyone who goes into Merryroot believes the outside world is in ruins and they can't leave. Since these spells took a human shape, they had to be affected by that too. Rogue didn't remember the message. Miles even admitted to me that she didn't know the full story of what she was doing. But if a spell is nested using Terminus magic, that means it hasn't been cast yet. It's going to be. And if a spell is cast inside of the city, Olive, it doesn't get changed by Sophie, like me. Exactly. And we flash back to Cal, overlooking the city from inside. So you didn't need a simulacra to pretend... Edgar. So you didn't need a simulacra to pretend to be perfect or look a certain way. Xeris, you needed a simulacra that would die, triggering your messenger spell. Cal was an old man. So old that him surviving the outside world seemed like a wonder. If there hadn't been any violence, if nothing had ever happened, he would have passed away sooner than anyone else in the city of old age. And when he did, we'd all have received a message from a version of me that knew what was going on out here. And we're back in the vault. David, that's kind of morbid. Making someone just to die? It is a little bleak, yeah. I don't think I would have cast him if I'd known if I'd known what was going on in the city. Or, more accurately, I wouldn't have cast Miles if I had realized sooner that Cal was an option. Zyla. Well, no sense in getting hung up on that now, love. They were magnificent works of spellcasting, however you spin it. Nyren. I'm still having a hard time processing they were magic spells and not real people. Olive. I'm not. It was so stupid to me that you couldn't see there was something wrong with them. Xeris. That does still leave us with one question, though. We see Belle looking scared and sad. Edgar. Fire whip spell sounds pretty straightforward. It's simple offensive magic, right? Sorry, quick pause here just for a little behind the scenes thing. The names of Rogo, Miles, and Cal are all very specific. Rogo means message or messenger in Latin, I believe. I need to look into exactly what it is, but it's something along those lines. Or like tell, or it's what? Now, hang on. Now I'm curious. I'm actually gonna look this up real quick. No, that's beg. Was it Greek, not Latin? Hang on. This is gonna drive me crazy. It is beg, which is weird. I thought, or I guess beseech or ask. There's a bunch of synonyms for it, so I think it's sort of like that was the kind of vibe I was going for. I didn't think that's what it was though. I thought it was message. But if you go to Miles, I'm nearly positive about this one. You've got to be kidding me. What am I? It must have been a different language, not actually Latin. The meanings originally, and I'll look into this because I'm not gonna change the name. The original meanings behind it was so Miles is soldier or in something, or was the name of a soldier or something like that. And Calatum was changed. It was Celatum, which meant something. Please be something. Please don't make a fool of me right now. Hidden. There we go. I got that one right. So Calatum, if you switch the A and the E for Celatum, is hidden, which was the intentional thing I was going for. I don't know why the other two weren't coming up properly, but I'll figure those out later. Anyway, I'll keep going for now. So we're discussing the fire whip from Belle. I do my best. Olive. Maybe after Penny freed Annabelle from prison, she attacked the evil wizard. Penny. No. As much as I want to believe that, I don't think that's possible. Why not? In this clue presentation, no time for rescue, no prison in the tower, or interrupted concentration. We're just going to skip ahead because I want to keep moving. For interrupted concentration. Sophie said that the flame whip spell had an error. Its concentration was interrupted. That means, Edgar, that means during the spell something happened to Belle to stop it. Penny. If she had cast it on Venexius and it had worked, the spell wouldn't have had any errors. Also, we'd likely have a body or some other evidence of a struggle. David. Then who did you cast the flame whip spell on? We see Penny not wanting to say it, even though she knows, and Belle says, Penny. Olive. Shock. Xeris. But that would mean... Nyren. You're accusing yourself, Annabelle? You realize what that means if you're right. It doesn't matter. It's the truth. Penny knows it too, right? Penny. Yes. And I have a pretty good idea of how it happened, too. 5 clues. You need 3 of them for clue presentation. I'm going to read them out because, again, I don't feel like we're not in like a super mystery solving mode, I don't think. It's more of just a... And again, this is stuff that in the game needs to be guessed, but there's room for trial and error, and you can guess and get it wrong and try again. And also there are hints for it, so for people who've kind of been following, it will feel really nice. The 5 clues here are Scorch Marks, Invisibility Potion, Simulacra, hand scars, and mind control. Simulacra and mind control are not relevant, so the other three are. We flash to the base of the tower with nobody in the room and flash of magic. When I appeared in a strange tower, not knowing how or why, I would have immediately gone on the defensive. Luckily for me, I was already invisible from the potion that Joffrey gave me before I left. The door opens and a frantic Annabelle runs down. Annabelle came to see what the noise was about, likely also on the defensive. She wasn't expecting anyone to escape from Merryroot. Flame whip appears in her hands. Hello? I had the advantage. We see a flash of light as Penny appears and stabs Annabelle through the hand that was holding the wand. The whip remains. We hear, why you? Whatever the case, my attempt to disarm Belle didn't work right away, and I got clipped by the flame whip, the only sign of any injury that had persisted on my armor. But I had to make sure it didn't go any further. Penny passed. Eli! Shing! We hear Belle kind of scream and start breathing heavy as we see Penny with the rapier through one hand and Eli through the other. The Dark Wizard didn't crucify Annabelle. I did. Penny. Who are you? What is this place? Flashback ends. But that means... Yeah. I am Phynexius. Xeris. Shock. Nyren. Edgar. Question marks. Edgar. Wait, I don't buy it. Some great force of darkness who allegedly put us all into Merryroot City without being defeated, and they're beaten by a potion of invisibility and a flying knife? Belle. Everyone slips now and then, I guess. Well, it's not a perfect story. How did you get into Merryroot as Annabelle if you're really Phynexius? Sophie could have changed me to fit her story. Zyla. No, I don't think so. I think it's something else entirely. Belle. Question mark. When you and Edgar finished with that spell book, I did a little digging myself. I can't be sure. I was a bit too exhausted to finish my work, but I think there may be magic in there that can alter one's own self, much in the same way that a simulacra spell creates the perfect idea of what you need. Penny. But how would Belle have done that? If she were free to cast spells, couldn't she have just killed me? Zyla. Perhaps. Or perhaps you cast it on Phynexius to limit their power somehow. Belle. I do only have a basic grasp of magic. Nyren. So then, Belle is Phynexius. Penny. We don't know that. Nyren. It rather sounds like we do, Penelope. Penny, it's... Belle takes a deep breath. It's okay. You don't need to defend me anymore. Annabelle, I want this to be over. For everyone. If I was some horrible dark wizard in the past, the least I can do is make up for it by giving you all a way out. David, kind of getting sad. No, wait, you can't mean... We can't... Edgar, I agree with David. We're not going to kill you. But if you don't, not yet. Not until we're sure. Penny, finding some hope. Right. Zyla, you said you're digging into this magic. Can you prove if Annabelle has had her form altered or not? Certainly, with a few lucid hours of research. Then we'll find out tomorrow. Xeris, we're supposed to just sleep with all of this looming over us? Penny, yes. We're all overtired. It's a bad idea to make a life or death decision right now. Besides, I can't use... Quickly, change bus to carriage. Annabelle threw herself under the carriage. She was ready to die right here, right now, for all of us. If she really is Phynexius, we don't have to be afraid of her anymore. Nyren. All right, David. Good. Edgar. I agree. I think we should all get some sleep, and we'll reassess this in the morning. Zyla. I'd be happy to get up early and start work on finding proof. Penny. Only if you wake someone up before you do. Only if you wake someone up before you do. Nobody goes wandering off alone, all right? David. Is there really any danger in that anymore? Xeris. It's better to err on the side of caution. Nyren. All right, then. Who would like to take the first watch? Penny. We're all tired, but I will. I technically got more sleep than the rest of you on account of, being choked into unconsciousness. Edgar. I'll stay up too, just for a few hours, and then we'll wake up. David. Me! You can wake me up! Xeris. I'll take second watch with David then. Penny. That should be enough. 3 hours each. We'll all get a bit of shut-eye. Olive. Good night, everyone. Screen dims, and we just see Edgar and Penny taking watch. Silence. Hey, Edgar says. Huh? You're incredible. Come on, Ed. I mean it. None of this would have been possible without you. Thank you for everything. Not to get all sappy about it. We'll see. Penny. Stop that. You're gonna make me. They both fall asleep. 2 thuds. The screen fades, and we get to see the vault angled from the back, so we can see the portal on the front. We see an adorable shot of everybody cuddled up on the big poopy mattress, which we had to get. Olive is wrapped around Xeris. Nyrin is near the edge. Penny and Edgar have collapsed near the foot of the bed next to each other. Annabelle is draped across a few different people, and David is curled up in the middle. This isn't important. I just think it's cute. We see the screen for a few moments, and then all ambient music and noise goes dead silent. This is a silent flash of light. Standing at the portal, as the camera pans up, we see a figure. Tall, dark, and spooky, with red eyes glowing from beneath a black hood. In a long, gnarled hand, we see a glowing red sphere. Dialogue from that hooded figure. We see Nexius and just ... Then, the music slowly returns with the sound. Olive shrieks in fear. The figure bursts into black smoke, permeates the room, and is gone. Intense music. David. Phoenixius! Nyrin. Shit! Where did he go? Belle. I just don't know. He must have teleported. Xeris. Everybody, spread out. Search the place. Nyrin. What happened to the watch? Who was awake? Penny. Nobody. Edgar. Something happened to us. We were awake and then... Zyla. A sleep spell. So simple that even a novice could do it. Belle. I didn't do anything. Nyrin. We never should have let you live this long. Penny. Nyrin, wait. Nobody got killed. Nobody got hurt. We're fine. We just saw Venexius. It can't have been Belle. Xeris. So, he's hiding here in the tower with us? David. We've got to find him! Edgar. Right. I agree with Xeris. We have to spread out. If you see anything or feel strange at all, dizzy, drowsy, anything, shout. Nyrin. David. Every second we wait, he could be getting away! Penny. Right. Come on. Let's go. Investigation start. Now Act 5 begins properly.